Sometimes life knocks us down for us to see, to believe, and to make us dream that we can stand up taller from where we began. Eric Manuel's first job in the Big Apple was not easy. Coping with triumphs and failures made him realize what makes us human. So Eric, can you share with us about your childhood story?
Sure. So I was actually born in QC, of course, late 70s. I am not a millennial. But around 85, of course, there was about people power. So my family decided to leave and head for New York City.
How old are you within?
I was about 7 years old.
Wow.
And so I left. I'm the bunso, the youngest one of my family. We left, arrived on December 31st, New York City.
Oh my God.
Freezing cold. I don't even know what thermals meant. And then we were in Queens, New York, a couple of hours from JFK Airport. And so I grew up in the U.S., going through attending school there as a Filipino. But in the U.S., I was basically part of the Asian community. But eventually I found that there are a lot of other Filipinos, so adjusting life to New York City wasn't so bad. I attended my schooling there. I went to public high school, public university. Of course, I studied abroad, but my first job was working on Wall Street. And so from there, basically I become quite Americanized. But fortunately, I've actually kept my Philippine passport. And so I'm actually a dual citizen right now.
So during that time, at that young age, because left Philippines when you're 7, did you ever start dreaming what kind of life, what kind of family, what kind of homes you would like someday at that age?
Yeah, great question. So, being in New York, I would always think I was going to retire rich in New York, get a Upper East Side apartment, or like those apartments you see in Sex and the City. Everyone thinks about New York to be very cool. The bright lights. I'd have a nice home in Long Island, go to the Hamptons in the weekend. So of course I envision it. I'd get married young, be rich, work on Wall Street for the rest of my life, white picket fence, that sort of thing. But then I realized I had a greater purpose. And the reason why, my mother works for the United Nations. And my tito was actually a dean of AIM, Asian Institute of Management here. And so this global thinking of always helping out not just the Filipinos but the world has always been instilled in me. So my mom is a major influence in my life, of course. And so the UN, she'd be in places like Somalia, Liberia, Baghdad in Iraq, East Timor, and I'd be in New York talking to her and wondering, why are you there when you could be here in the UN headquarters in New York? And her always answer is, I'll provide for you, of course, and also I need to help out other people in this world. And so that was instilled. So that thought, that seed of change actually is in me and all my other siblings. So basically, even though I had this dream of white picket fence, living in New York City, I always thought there was something bigger that I can contribute back to the society.
So what kind of project that instill you, that you're pursuing right now? I know you're working as a corporate leader in your organization, but what's that for you to pursue that kind of vision that your mom started?
And for me, building sustainably is not just something we do for marketing or anything like that. It's actually real. In real estate, we know that what we build is for someone, a customer. If I'm building residential, what I build is for someone to live in, to start a home, start a family. Or if it's an office building, it's for companies who want to operate in the Philippines, who want to save or do something. A very good example is we have World Bank in our portfolio. They've been with us for 20 years. And World Bank, I'm not a World Bank employee, but I know that they're in my building and they're saving the world. So learning how to build buildings that you have these types of tenants, and also doing green buildings, which is something that we're also trying to instill throughout our portfolio, is this thing of sustainability. And being in the Philippines where we have typhoons, global warming, that sort of thing, that's something that we need to emphasize more.
To go back with that education when you were a kid, are you very competitive?
Yes, I'm very competitive.
How can you say that you're competitive?
I was a perfectionist in grades. I have to admit, I strive for the best degrees, the A's, want to be the top of the class. Competitive. And you know, that's important, but learning, I would honestly say, is more important. If I can advise myself 20 years ago, if the younger Eric was in front of me, I would say, it's good that you're competitive in getting grades and that sort of thing, but it's much better to be cooperative as well. I have to admit, collaborating, knowing that you're not the smartest person in the room, and being more humble, is what I would probably tell myself, is more important than being the best. Because there's always going to be someone smarter, faster, stronger, hungrier, more passionate than you. But I'm sure through a collective group, through getting more people for a common cause, is much more powerful than an individual.
What are the real reality stories that you can share?
Well, I think, you know, my first day at Wall Street, I got yelled at by my boss. And you know, I thought I was a smart guy. I thought I did all my work. I prepared for it, put the presentation well, did the financials well, but I still missed a detail. Actually, it's that level of detail that that's never left me. That was my first day on the job of my company. And because of that, I'm very detailed. I mean, really, whatever I do, even though I have a very big picture view of business and politics, at the end of the day, it's all about the little details to execute. But it's those things, and that's just one simple experience that I do carry with me from that job. But I think overall, I've been blessed. I've studied in London as well, where it's actually very multicultural. And I've realized we're all just human. Yes, we have boundaries, we have political systems, religious systems. We're actually all human. We eat, we sleep, we breathe. And knowing those like 3 factors and maybe a couple more, actually any differences we may have, we actually work it out. I think as humans, we want to survive. So even if you and I can't speak the same language, I look at your eyes, you look at mine, and we realize, you know what? Let's do something better together. I think that's what I've learned as I travel this world.
So with that, you've been traveling around the world. What is the pride of Filipino that you carry?
Very good question. Being Filipino for me, of course, my family means a lot. It's actually, you know, we've heard about crab mentality, and I've been quite blessed that my family doesn't believe in that. Mm-hmm. And so they're not based on nepotism, it's all about meritocracy, it's bringing your skills to the table. So that's what I know of being Filipino. Hard work, and also being very innovative. For example, if there's a problem, we'll find a way around it. We're very good at that. And you know, that ingenuity carries us far. You know, my goal is I want to put Philippines on the real estate map. I travel a lot around the world, around the region. I speak everywhere. I actually teach still, all the way from Hong Kong. I teach Shanghai developers. And you know, when they see a Filipino teaching, they see me as a Filipino, but when they hear me speak, they hear that this global sense that I've traveled, you know, in Europe and across the world. I represent the Philippines. I know that every time I go to these countries. So I want to make sure I'm on my best footing.
So with that, do you consider yourself successful?
I think so. Actually, let me change that. Yes, I consider myself successful.
So what is success to you?
I think work-life balance. The younger Eric worked 20 hours a day in Wall Street. I think your health. If you wanted to do anything, I always tell my colleagues and the people who I work with, who report to me, first thing I say, please get some sleep, eat well, and exercise. And only then can we talk about work. And so success is the balance of all those 4. Family, relationships, balancing, don't make enemies. And that's another thing. Those are success. And you've noticed I haven't really talked about work and success. Money, most people would think, is a form of success. It might be. I'd rather make it more of an impact. I have to admit, some of the most powerful people in the world are not the richest. Power doesn't connote that you have to have money. And those are the people I'm influenced by. Those are the ones that impact society.
So what the best message that you can share with them, that even though they're in that position, that they can also achieve what you achieve?
I mean, I would honestly say anyone in poverty level, if there's a way to empower yourself, and it's really to educate yourself, because that's very long term. Meaning, get an education. I'm not even asking to get a college degree. Actually, just learn. Go online, find a library, find an internet access, find a laptop, read this, read that, watch videos on how to get something. But every day, think of it as like a brick. Every day in your life is a brick. And every brick you put in every day, you're building your house. So back to that dream I had of a nice white picket fence and a beautiful house, that's essentially a mental house. That 30 to 40 years from now, you can look back and say, wow, I was only starting off with a raw land, nothing. But look at me, now I live in a mansion. And this mansion is big enough to house all those other people in need, potentially. And so at the end of the day, when you get to a level of comfort, you empower other people. So education.
Yeah. If there's one thing that you want to leave, or you want these future leaders to follow you, or secrets of your success, what would be the best advice that you can give them?
I say listen, take good notes, and every person you meet, there's always something to learn from. And when I say that, if there's let's say a janitor, and there's something you can learn from a janitor, hard work ethic. You learn about people. And if you're working in a company, taking good notes, listening, that sort of thing, those are definitely things I would advise on. There's always something to learn. The day you stop learning is the day you pretty much die.
So with those kind of experiences and training that you're getting, do you use the same system in your own home? Because I know you're now married with a child.
I treat my baby as if the younger Eric, meaning, I'd like for him to get good grades, that sort of thing, but I'd rather let him see the world. When in the day, I love technology, and I talked about e-commerce before, digitization of work, smartphones. But how sweet is it if the art of communication, face-to-face like this? How rare is it to sit over a cup of coffee to discuss big ideas? It's getting quite rarer, especially this millennial group.
Yeah.
I can only imagine 20 years from now, when my son is about 21, 22, how the world will be. Will people always be looking at their smartphones like this? Or will they still converse like this? And I hope he learns how to make any changes. It's always about eye contact, the simple ways to communicate. So that's what I would rather have him do. Just be a people person, more than be the smartest guy in the room.
Eric, with all the innovations, what is the most important that you don't want to change?
Human contact. With all the available social media tools, Facebook, WhatsApp, Skype, all these, it's this one-on-one conversations. It's coffee, over a cup of coffee. That's truly something can never be digitized. That's something that is more rare now. So with human contact, eye contact, simple things, really is. It's as we get more digitized, as technology becomes more pervasive in our daily life, imagine a phone call even. So we're meant to be talking to each other. That's how stories were told. We were put on this earth not just to look at screens. And most change does happen. Big ideas come about in these discussions, things like this.
All right. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much, Rebecca.
This January, don't miss the high-profile events brought to you by Asia CEO Forum. On January 27, 2016, join the Asia Women's Summit at the Manila Marriott Pasay City. Presented by BioOil, this summit features many of the nation and the Asia-Pacific region's most remarkable women describing their personal stories and what they learned that can benefit others. Unleash the women's power in your enterprise. Join the Asia Women's Summit at the Manila Marriott Pasay City on January 27, 2016, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. For more inquiries, log on to asia-ceo.org.
Being an only child pushed Sheila Lobien to become an independent. Living her teenage life in a foreign land made her horizon wider. So Sheila, thank you for being here. How you define success?
Success to me is being able to achieve what you want in life and being happy with what you have in life as well, but not neglecting the fact that there are many things that you can also do, and there are other things that you can achieve that will make you more, I would say, satisfied.
Do you consider yourself you're now successful?
I think I'm happy, and I believe when you're happy, you are successful. So that's the gauge of a successful person for me. When you're happy, then it means you are successful.
Can you share us how you started when you were a kid?
I would say I have big dreams in life. Even if I was just, I think in my teenage years, I always want to do my best in everything that I would go into. That's basically it.
Is it because your parents push you or they encourage you, or it's just you?
I'm an only child, but I've seen my mom and dad worked really hard during their younger years. And I think that's one way of encouraging me to also be like them, to work hard, to do my best in what I'm doing. Because I've seen them as role models. They're very honest with their dealings, they're very loyal as an employee, and they're very determined and focused. So I think those values I have learned from them, and therefore I was able to bring that with me as I grow my career also in my chosen field.
Were you been a competitive girl?
Competitive? I'm an only child, so I don't really have a competition.
But how about at school with friends?
Yes, in school, yes. I want to be always I'd like to be part of the honor students every year. So my mom, she is not really that, I would say, she didn't really push me to study hard and get the best grade and be the #1 in school, but she was very supportive. So she sent me to one of the best schools also, and she would always encourage me to study, to finish a degree, so that I'll be able to have a better future, because we came from a very humble beginning also. My mom and my dad, they had to work to finish their degree, and for them, what they'd like me to do is just focus on my studies and do well there, and they'll support me. So I tried my best to make them proud also. I studied well. I made sure that I get at least an award every end of the school year, so they'll be happy for working hard and for giving me all these things.
Did you ever achieve the awards that you wanted?
Oh yes, yes, always, always.
Okay, you overpass?
I believe so.
Yeah, good
Yes.
for you. And with that, from elementary to high school, and I know you also went abroad when you were young. What changed that kind of experience abroad, and what made you come back?
My mom, she's one of the first OFWs in the Philippines. She went to Casablanca, Morocco, because she had to work and make a living so that we can also survive. My dad is a seaman, so he's always out of the country. That's how they're able to brought me up. So my mother had to work in Casablanca, Morocco, and she brought me with her. So there it's not an English-speaking country, so I had to learn the language. There, I had to learn Arabic and French on my own because my mom can speak Arabic and French. So I was able to adapt to a different culture in Casablanca, Morocco. My mom was able to send me to a French school. So at an early age, I had to learn how to deal with different nationalities, how to adapt with them, and therefore, right now, I'm able to use that experience and learning in what I do. In my job right now, I deal with so many different nationalities, and because of that experience, I would say I learned how to deal with them and be able to relate with them. So I know the sensitivities of different culture, and I find it very easy to deal with, let's say, a foreigner, whether they're from Europe, US, or Asia. So I respect them, and it's something that I welcome, dealing with different nationality.
The training that your parents taught you when you were a kid, do you discipline them exactly how they discipline you?
I think I'm stricter compared to my mom. They said, but they love my kids so much, and I'm the disciplinarian somehow. I'd like my kids to be very serious also in things, to be respectful to elderly people. I'd like to see that in them. I'd like to see my kids to be successful also when they grow up. I think that's the dream of every parent out there, to see their kids grow up, achieve good things in life also, have a good husband or good wife, and when that happens, then I would consider myself successful also in that aspect of life. I will support them in whatever they'd like to achieve in life and in whatever they would also do in the future, because I believe that when you focus on what you want in life and what your aspirations are, then you'll be happy. And when you like what you do and when you're happy in what you're doing, everything else will follow: money, success, and fulfillment in life.
So with that, how you develop your people, how you work with them? Do you treat them like your children, or?
I lead by example, so I'd like them to see how I work, and hopefully they'll be inspired, they'll be motivated to do the same, and they'll have their own plans as well, their own goals in life, and they'll be successful because of that. They have to be self-motivated so that they'll be successful also.
So what is the pride of Filipino that you carry?
That we work hard and we are smart, and we're very talented actually, and a lot of BPOs, call center companies are coming in the Philippines because of the talent. Filipinos like you, like us, are coming here because of that.
With your business, where do you see the hope for Philippines?
The Philippines right now is in a very good economic situation. All the fundamentals are there. We have a growing middle class. The Philippine real estate business is booming. Aside from the OFW remittances, we have the BPO. It's one of the biggest driver of the economy right now. So I believe this is the best time for people to come back in the Philippines, work here in Manila, and be successful here in the Philippines as well, and contribute to the growing Philippine economy.
If there's one message that you want to give to our future leaders, what is it?
They have to find their passion in life. I think if you really love what you do, you will excel. You will study it, you will work hard, and it's not gonna be work anymore. It's like part of your life. So you'll wake up every day happy because you know you can make a difference, you're contributing something, you're helping people around you, and therefore all other things will just follow. As I've said, money, success, fame, they will just follow if you love what you do and you're making a difference every day in life.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Sheila.
you. Thank you, Rebecca.
This January, don't miss the high-profile events brought to you by Asia CEO Forum. On January 27, 2016, join the Asia Women's Summit at the Manila Marriott Pasay City. Presented by Bio Oil, this summit features many of the nation and the Asia-Pacific region's most remarkable women describing their personal stories and what they learned that can benefit others. Unleash the women's power in your enterprise. Join the Asia Women's Summit at the Manila Marriott Pasay City on January 27, 2016, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. For more inquiries, log on to asia-ceo.org.
At a young age, Bert Lina started to taste life's bitter and sweet flavors. He was once a pineapple vendor who dreamed to be a doctor. Do you consider yourself now a success person?
Well, that's what they say. But to me, I cannot ask for more. You know, God must have gifted me. Diba? Narating ko na yung gusto ko. I have my planes. I have my good kids. They have been educated already. Who would ever think I will reach this point?
Can you tell us when you were a kid, how you started?
I started young because at an early age, I used to sell pineapple sa province of Laguna, doon sa Kalawan. Ang tawag namin doon, 3 piso. We will bunch it, then I will put it here, and then I will sell that to the bus. Pag into yung bus, sometimes natatangay pa nga ako ng bus. So that they will unload me. Kasi maliit pa ako ng bata. So, ang earnings ko noon, for 1 peso that you sell, 3 piso eh.
Okay.
The time, no? So, I have a commission or they pay me for selling 1 peso, 10 centavos. My father is a public school teacher. My mom stays at home, but siya ang may kaunting business acumen. And then, when we moved to another place in Laguna, that's also I helped my mom on the buying and selling at a tender age. And then when I was in high school, I would go and market to the other parts of Laguna, like Santa Cruz. And my mother will assign something for me to buy. I will buy it sa Chinese store. Every week, I buy and sell. I'll pay what we owe and then we come back.
With that, how you started running a business along the way?
Well, I finished college. I'm a CPA. No? I took up commerce kasi gusto ko sanang gumawa ng mahabang kurso like law or medicine. Pero marami kami. Baka hindi kayanin ng tatay ko. Hindi ba? So kumuha ng commerce para mas madali. Di ba?
Okay. So after commerce, you
I passed the board as a CPA. Then I joined an auditing company called LCDS and Company.
Okay.
So at the time, ang sweldo lang namin, 2 piso sa isang araw. And then after that, when I became a CPA, I was given a break to teach in the evening at a tender age of 22, 23 sa pamantasan ng Luzon ng Maynila. That's about 6 to 9 sa gabi.
Okay, all right.
So I was working sa audits araw and then I was teaching at night.
Okay.
And during intervening periods like Saturday and Sunday, I would take up some masteral courses on taxation. When I left audit, I worked in a freight forwarding company.
Okay. So
And then that's where I learned.
where you started.
Yeah, as a finance officer first. As a finance officer, then I became a manager, then I became a president. And in a fateful day of June 21, 1979, I lost my job.
So that's
As a
how you
president,
started.
that's how I started. So with 45,000 pesos, I started Air 21.
Wow, wow.
And it grew up to as many companies now.
Who are the people that became part of you that you
Well,
thankful?
it's really my wife that gave me all the time to do more. And really, you have to have a partner that is with you. If not, it's so hard, you know. Because if you have kids, who will take care of the kids? And make them really good citizens. Because if not, no, they'll go haywire. So that really is one thing. Without because I've been married for 40 years. And that really helps me.
So kung meron kayong message with the parents who have teenage children right now?
Spend more time. Oo, ay maniwala ka sa akin. I cry sometimes. Ngayon, pag nakikipag-usap ako, talking of my kids, no amount of money, with all my wealth, hindi ko matawagan. Ganyan. Gusto mo papuntahin sa bahay na Saturday, sana iba na. Oo. Hindi ba? Kasi yung hindi mo, it's time eh. It's time that you spend with them. Ngayon, maski tawagan mo sila, may anak na, etc. Hindi ka napapansinin yan. Di ba? Kaya minsan ang nangyayari lang doon sa mga successful people, doon na di-devote ang time nila to help more other people.
Kasi yung na-miss nila parang doon binibigay
Doon
ngayon.
Parang ako, di ba, iba basketball team, di ba? Puro babae ako. So minsan yung mga lalaki na lang, mga lalaki yung kaya kong ibigay, doon ko na lang ibinibigay. Ganun lang yan eh.
Well, you were tough when they were kids.
No, I did not see my 2 kids grow because I was it's really my in-laws that took care of them eh. Mahal kasama namin. Kaya mas mahal ng 2 anak ko yung lolo nila. Yung lolo nila buhay pa, 95, pero may sakit na ngayon. Doon ko nakita. Kita mo, in spite of everything, nakikita ko rin bakit. So because I didn't find time with them eh. Samantala yung lolo nila, when they were growing, sila nagdadrive yung lolo nila. So kita mo, ang pagmamahal nila na andun. So I just keep it to myself. So those are the things na di mamaski ako in my solitude. Bakit ba? Ganon. Di ba? Oh.
So if you look back, you wish that you spend more time
Oh
with
yes,
them.
but mahirap kasi at that time, struggling years yan even nga Sunday, nagtatrabaho kami. You just have to balance things. And you have to work it out. Kasi wala namang perfect scenario Walang perfect scenario. Palaging may kulang yan. And how do you balance it, di ba? Oh, deep inside me, I can laugh, etc. I can talk to people. But you ask those other people, walang complete
So many people, either politics or individual, either separated or annulled. What is the key message that you can give to keep the family?
Well, really,
Healthy.
there is no measure of success if there is failure in the home. Di ba? Oo. Pero kung ang pamilya, magaling, to me, there's already success there. If you're able to make your family intact, you're happy as a family, there's success there. Yung pera is secondary. Nasasabi ko yun kasi I've reached that. I rub elbows with the rich and the famous or what at my age. No? Diba? Oh, so, ano ba bang gusto ko sa buhay ko? Diba? Kundi magselbisyo na lang either sa taas o sa bayan. Diba? Yun ang aim habang malakas pa ako is I will serve this country. And I'm thankful I'm still alive. But I will do my best as long as I am alive to do things. One, it's ready for my country. My message to the Filipino people is strive, learn, study more. To me, because I came from a poor family, I know how to farm. Toiling the soil is another one. But you know, you can toil part soil and not the soil. But even if you're in the city, you keep toiling. Marami dyan magagaling, akala mo ba? Oh, given the opportunities, and the opportunities are there. Gusto lang, kasi lang iba, huwag silang tamad.
So what's your message to the people in order to reach that kind of projection?
Let us choose the right leaders.
How can you define the right leader?
Well, we should be guided really by, what we see and what we have experienced and where we would like to go. Sayang yung nasimulan, dapat tuloy-tuloy. Diba? Dapat, matuloy yung sinimulan.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Commissioner Bert. Being independent doesn't mean you have to be alone. A little help from your family and friends can push you towards your destination. They can also be the shoulder to lean on when you need time off so you can still carry on. I am Rebecca Bustamante, and this is Self-Made.